What's up, guys? Zeta here, and today we're gonna be going over the UFC referee tier list. Okay, we're gonna be looking at these referees and seeing where I think they belong based on their in octagon performances. If they're out here stopping fights early, they might go a little low, but if they're out here stopping fights late, I like that. So it depends. We'll see where these guys end up being, right? So let's start off with listen, Marc Goddard. Marc Goddard's going in the C tier, bro. C tier because he does stop fights quite early. So I think even though he is a recognizable face, he was out there UFC 300, Max Holloway versus Gaethje, and he was out there. Listen, it's over. We still have to put him in the C tier, okay? Because he does stop fights early. Until he fixes that early stoppage thing, he likes to stop fights a little too early for my liking. He's gonna stay in the C tier, okay? So maybe he can move up. I know you guys are gonna hate on this, maybe because Marc Goddard, he's a staple, man. He's always in there, but in reality, he's about a C tier when it comes to refereeing, okay? So also, if I say judges throughout this video, I'm referring to referees, okay? Because sometimes you mix them up, the judges and the referees, but I know I'm a casual for that, right? But whatever. Let me move on to the next guy. Mike Beltran. Mike Beltran is an A tier ref, okay? He is a personality and a half, bro. This guy is in there during the Mokaev versus Cop fight, and he's out here yelling at them, bro.
Stand right here and talk to me.
He straight up yells at these guys. He doesn't care. He treats these guys like, like how they should be treated, okay? He doesn't tolerate nonsense. You got no nonsense Keith Peterson. This is the real no nonsense Keith Peterson, okay? He does not tolerate anything from the fighters, and he's also pretty cool. He's like a cool personality. He'll switch it up. He'll start speaking perfect Spanish in the octagon, or then I think he speaks Portuguese too, bro. So this guy's pretty cool. And if you Google him, he's also I think he's a former cop or something, and he just has some pretty cool pictures out there, right? He's a cool guy. He seems like a chill dude. Definitely a cool guy to hang with. But I'm gonna put him in the A tier because he seems like a cool guy. I don't think I've seen any egregiously early stoppages from him or anything, and I just like his personality in the octagon, okay? He steals the show a little, right? So let's move on to the next guy, Dan Miragliotta. Now Dan Miragliotta is just kidding, he's a fucking S tier, okay? I know if it's not fucking Herb Dean, he shouldn't be in the S tier, but in reality, I got Dan in my S tier, bro, because Dan is the man. I fucking love Dan Miragliotta. This is one thing that I do for sure, because, bro, Dan Miragliotta is a W ref, dude. He's a good ref. He's always in the octagon, stealing the show, in my opinion. And I love that when somebody wins, you can obviously tell if Dan Miragliotta is happy or if he's not. You can tell when he wanted the guy to win. You can tell that, if he's disappointed that the wrong guy won on that night, right? But I just like that he is obviously biased, and even during the Jared Cannonier versus Barajo fight, bro, this motherfucker didn't stop the fight when Jared Cannonier was literally dead on the octagon, and that's why it's so good, bro. He literally let Jared Cannonier be a warrior in there, and man, I mean, this guy, I don't see early stoppages from him, bro, unless I'm tripping, unless there's some early stoppage that I can't remember right now back in 07, but, for now, I think Dan Miragliotta is an S tier, and it's not going to change, bro. I love Dan Miragliotta. He is underrated as fuck. I don't hear enough people talking about him, but when he gets in there, bro, he's always got a smile on his face. He's always happy to be there, and I just love his winning reactions, bro. You can tell when he wants the guy to win or lose. So, yeah, he's an S tier, but let's move on. Kerry Hatley. Now this, on the other hand, this is a guy who, I did praise Dan Miragliotta for that little late stoppage, or he didn't even stop the fight when the Jared Cannonier fight, but here we got fucking, what's his name, Kerry Hatley, bro, this fucking rat, during the Jalen Turner versus Bobby Green fight. I'm sorry, bro, but you need to know when to stop the fight, okay? There's points where you can't let it go on for too long, like when Jalen Turner is on top of Bobby Green, killing him, literally murdering him when he's dead on the ground. Bro, you cannot let that fight go on, okay? And this guy thinks he's hot shit. That's the difference, right? Dan Miragliotta, he's just a cool guy. This guy thinks he's literally hot shit, bro. If you think you're hot shit and, you're out here, he's tossing up the L's and stuff, bro, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. People don't know you, little bro, so I'm sorry, but you're not going to be above the C tier, okay? You can be there with Marc Goddard, but let me just say this. Marc Goddard is definitely above this guy. If I could throw this guy in the D tier, I would, but man, I can tell you this right now, Kerry Hatley is not welcome to the cookout, okay? So he's going to be in the C tier for now, but let's move on, okay? I'm not even giving this guy that much time because he's a bot, bro, so let's move on to the next guy. Keith Peterson. No nonsense Keith Peterson is going in the B tier, okay? Because he is He's one of those guys where, some people might have him a little higher, but in my opinion, he does the job. Nothing special about him, in my opinion. I know the commentary is like, bro, he's no nonsense, but in reality, he's kind of just in there, bro. I don't see this guy many times, do anything crazy. I don't know. I swear I've never seen this guy call out that many people. Like, bro, he's not a confrontational ref necessarily. Sure, he'll say, get your fingers out the cage, but that's about it, man. Like, you're not really that guy. You might be saying you're no nonsense, but you gotta prove it, bro. Like, Mike Beltran is no nonsense in reality. Okay, that's why he's the real no nonsense Keith Peterson. But fair enough. I don't see any bad stoppages necessarily from him. So, man, Keith Peterson, if he's in there, he's in there, right? If he's in there, he's in there. He's not a bad guy to be in there. He's not the best, though. So I'm going to put him right in the B tier, okay? Let's go on to the next guy. Next up, we got Gary Copeland. Okay, Gary Copeland is a very underrated ref. This guy is D tier, sadly, but he is a personality. If it were personality-based, this guy would be S tier because he thinks he's the main character, okay? If you guys know this guy, let me say this. This might jog your memory. He was the guy on the Manon Fiorot versus Blanchfield fight night, where I think Buckley was there, and we got the eye poke, the eye poke from Chris Weidman, and he won the fight by eye poking somebody. That's the fight night he was on. He was stopping every fight completely early. If you were watching that fight live, you would know that, everybody on Twitter was freaking out. He reffed the fight with Jacob Malkoon and, whatever, the other bot, with the two bots, and, the one guy hit his head on the other guy, and then, but he was in there stopping fights ridiculously early, constantly trying to be in the frame of the camera. This guy was worried about his looks. He was, he was stepping in there and just concerned about being on the camera, bro. That's all he cared about. But, he's a cool looking guy. He's a little funny looking guy. He actually has the ideal male physique, so D tier. He's going to be in D tier, sadly. I know a lot of people were calling for this guy to get, fired on the night. I think Dana might have said something about him as well, and called him, dog shit, but I don't know. He's going to be D tier. If it were up to me, though, I would maybe toss him up in the S tier just because he's a cool little personality, but yeah, man, it's going to be D tier, Gary Copeland. I'm very sorry to tell you that. And he's a former cop also. That's pretty cool. He's got the cop mentality, but yeah, he just thought he was the man. He thought he was the man in the octagon, and he was refereeing these, the big guys, right? But he's not the man, so we're going to have to toss him in the B tier. Next up, we got Mark Smith. Mark Smith's going in the D tier. Just kidding, guys. He is going, I'm going to put him in the A tier. I know there's guys in here, the hardcores will say, Mark Smith is an S tier. He does everything perfectly. He's the most technical referee ever. He knows when to stop the fight, and he knows perfectly when to keep letting the fighters go. Okay, so I don't care if he's, technically the most perfect referee in history. He's not in my books, okay? He's the A tier. He's an A tier where I like this guy refereing, but, bro, you don't know when he's refereeing. You never notice, okay? He's just in there. He's just like he's not making an appearance. I like when guys can kind of make an appearance and you'll detect their presence, right? They have some sort of aura when they're in the octagon. Mark Smith, I'm sorry to tell you this, I know he's been on Joe Rogan, so, he's a cool guy. He's a Joe Rogan guy, but just because he's been on Joe Rogan and has proved that he's a real person, he's still not S tier, okay? He's A tier. He's A tier because I don't know necessarily if he's made any early stoppages. He might have been in the Valentin fight recently, the Robert Valentin fight. That was a week ago, but that was a bit of an early stoppage. I don't even know if he was refereeing that fight. I'm going to have to check, I'm going to have to check the interwebs to check if that is correct information and fact check it a little. But other than that, he's a pretty good ref. I don't I don't hate seeing this guy in there, but it's not the best. It's not the best that you could get, but he's a pretty good ref. He's a good guy. That if your favorite fighter's fighting and he's a bit chinny, you're gonna be fine with him being in there. And it's not gonna be like Marc Goddard where you're shivering in your pants because you don't want your favorite fighter to get fucking early stoppaged and lose the belt because of it, right? But it's whatever. He's gonna be in the A tier, okay? Next up, we got Jason Herzog, bro. Jason Herzog. B tier, okay? B tier because he's I don't know. He's alright. He did have, now when I think of Jason Herzog, I only think of the Jared Cannonier versus Amavov stoppage where he completely stopped it early. It was completely early, and, it's kind of caused Jared Cannonier's career to spiral. And I think Jared Cannonier would have survived that, especially after seeing the Baralho fight where he was at the point of getting knocked out, and he kept surviving because this guy's a survivor, right? Jared Cannonier, the killer gorilla, is a survivor. You gotta let him kill, bro. You gotta let him kill like a gorilla, okay? You cannot stop the fight early. And so we got Jason Pipsqueak Herzog. This guy's like 5'3" in there with the big guys for some reason. Why are we putting him in there with them? He's out there stopping fights early, bro. Like, it's just, we can't have him be any higher than B tier. B tier is being nice because, you know, I know you guys are gonna say recency bias, bro. Jason Herzog's a beast. If you've watched the sport for more than 10 years, you'd know that he's a beast. But you know, in reality, Jason Herzog's about a B tier. Okay, he's all right, and also he's not the best personality. He's okay. Like I'll clap it up for him maybe a little when I see him in there, but you know, he's about B tier. Okay, he's recognizable, but he does. You know, I'm literally only basing it pretty much off the Cannonier stoppage, but dude, he's going to need to make up for that. He's going to need to make up for that stoppage and basically ruining Jared Cannonier's career, because I would have rather seen Jared Cannonier get knocked the fuck out than stopped early and his career go completely down the drain, which, you know, I know is not technically completely down the drain. He can still fight a guy like Costa, but his title aspirations are over, okay? So that's it for Jason Herzog. He's about a B tier, okay? Let's move on. The man you guys have been waiting for. Herb Jean, I'm gonna put him in the S tier. Now I know there's gonna be the guy in the comments who say, bro, Herb Dean, S tier, really? This guy's a fucking terrible ref. But you know, in reality, guys, Herb Dean's S tier for me. I know he has kind of some late stoppages, but bro, I like referees that have decent late stoppages, okay? Maybe not late stoppages to the point where you're letting guys fucking die, but like a Herb Dean stoppage, a Herb Dean late stoppage, like Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. I like that he kind of let Yuri try and battle it back in, unlike Marc Goddard, who fucking stopped the fight instantly. But, you know, Herb Dean did a good job. It was very sad for me to see as a Yuri Prochazka fan, but, you know, I think Herb Dean does a good job. I don't have any complaints. He's also a good personality guy, right? I like seeing this guy in there. I think everybody likes him. He's probably the most recognizable ref. And there's a reason for that, okay? He deserves it. And, you know, I know there's the nitpickers, right? The nitpickers who like to critique him maybe. Maybe he stopped the fight 2.2 milliseconds late, so you get to critique him a little. But in reality, he is an S-tier guy, okay? So let's just keep him in there. Let's shove him in there. I don't know why my cam is so dark, bro. This camera sucks, so I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry you can't see my face, but, you know, let's move on to our last referee. Okay, last but not least, we got Chris Tognoni. Chris Tognoni is about a B tier. He's okay. He's actually pretty funny. I might have him at the top of B tier, honestly, because this guy is quite comedic in his you know, stoppages. He comes in there very slow. He trudges to stop the fight, right? He doesn't really have any worry about, you know, the fight going on a little too long. There could be a guy getting his face beat the fuck in, and, you know, he's on the verge of death, but, you know, Chris Tognoni's gonna take his time. He's gonna try his best. You know, he always tries to put an effort in. He's like the kid who, you know, tries to pretend that he's putting an effort in a PE class, but in reality, he's going like 2%. But, yeah, so I'm gonna put Chris Tognoni in about the B tier. You know, I actually like him. I like him a decent amount. He might even work his way up to the A tier, but for now, you know, Chris Tognoni's not exactly the most recognizable ref either, so he can't really be, you know, in the A tier with these big guys. But I don't know, man. Chris Tognoni's a beast in my opinion. Also, he had a cool stoppage with Jake Gyllenhaal, which you know, that I'm gonna count that against him actually. The Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse stoppage, that's gonna be lowering him a little to B tier because he let that fight go on way too long and he didn't stop it correctly. You know, he was getting fucking ruled around the octagon by Jake Gyllenhaal, bro. So like we gotta put him in the B tier, okay? But other than that, that's it for the tier list video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video here, and yeah, let me know if you disagree with one of these referee positions. You know, maybe Dan Miragliotta is the worst ref in the UFC and he should be in the D tier. But other than that, I'm pretty sure this list is right, guys. And if you want to fact check it, anything I've said in this video, it is 100% correct. I do not lie in my videos, guys. But yeah, leave a like on the video. Comment for more, you know, some more video ideas maybe, and yeah, subscribe if you guys like this MMA content. I'm doing MMA content every day, so yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.